Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Out here in the barn with Camaro, and I had a guy leave me a comment the other day asking if I would make a detailed video of how I deleted the factory oil air separator box, aka the PCV system, from the car, and how I rerouted everything to the catch can after completely deleting that system. So I wanted to do that and give everybody a little rundown on what we got going on the Gen 6 Camaro SS with the Gen 5 LT1 engine or the C7 Corvette. There's going to be a little black box right here bolted to the back of the water pump. There's one of the ears for the bolts right there. There's going to be a little black box there, and it's got 3 hose bars poked out of it, and it's going to have some little plastic tubes that look something like this, routed around to the valve covers. I don't remember where they all go, but there's going to be another connection on the side of the intake manifold, and there's going to be one right here on the valley that I've got capped off with a vacuum cap. So just to go over a couple of things you need just to delete everything, you're going to need a box of variety pack of vacuum caps. I don't remember what size they all are, but you're going to need a big one for this valve cover. You're going to need a smaller one for here on the valley. So just go ahead and get the variety pack. They're cheap. You can give me any auto parts store. You're going to need some coolant because you're going to lose coolant doing this, and you're going to need some rags. So we're just going to assume for simplicity's sake that everybody's going to run the Mighty Mouse Gen 6 Wild Catch Can on the fan shroud mount. So I can give you what hose and everything else I bought to complete this. So once you've got all those connections pulled off of there, and you've got the one pulled off of the valley, and got everything disconnected, I don't remember what it looked like exactly, but once you get all those disconnected, you're going to want to take your air intake tube off. And if you've got the stock intake manifold or the LT2, you may find it easier and have a little more room to go ahead and take the throttle body off. You're going to need to be able to get to the water pump bolts, because we're going to have to pull it. So once you get all that stuff off, back here, going into the firewall, the one towards the driver's side, there's a little plastic clip on there. That's a quick connect hose. It has a little metal ring that sits in a groove. You can see that groove. I can't really show you on camera, but there's a groove there. So just get you a 90-degree pick and push that little metal ring towards the passenger side of the car. And don't push it too far, because it will pop all the way off, and you're going to have to find it, or your hose isn't going to click back in, and you're going to be going to the dealership to find you a new one. So, but just pull that back and then pull the hose straight off. You're going to want to route it underneath the wiring harness here, because you're going to pull the water pump all the way off to complete this job. Once you got that pulled up, you want to disconnect this upper radiator hose. Now you can either squeeze the clip and pull it off of the thermostat housing, or you can take the 3 bolts off the thermostat housing. There's a good place right here on the fuse panel. It has a little hole you can put a zip tie through to just tie that line up out of the way. All this will come with it. I suggest getting some of them little plastic hose clamps where you can clamp down on this hose, so when you flip this up, this isn't trying to drain out through anything, and you're not losing as much coolant. So once you get that pulled out of the way, hopefully you don't have a catch can already. If you do, you're going to want to take it off, and you're going to take the bracket off. And I think the little silver bracket that actually bolts to the fan shroud, you could leave that there, but the one that has the ring that holds the catch can in place, you're going to remove that so you've got some room. After that, take your serpentine belt off. The tensioner is right down there underneath the thermostat housing, basically. I think it's a 15mm spring-loaded deal. Pull the belt off. There's 6 bolts on the water pump. There's 3 on this side, 3 on this side. You're going to need 2 new water pump gaskets when you go to put it back on. I'm using the Chevy Performance Racing ones. I don't know that there's that much difference between them and the stock, but they're about $1 more a piece. So it's like $8 or $9 a piece. But that's the ones I went with. So I've got those. You'll need that. Once you pull the water pump back, you're going to want to be careful. You're going to be holding it. On the bottom of this box is a tube. It drains back down into the oil pan. So that's one of the downsides of this factory system, is all that contaminated oil vapor that's venting out into the box has crankcase pressure, condenses in that box, and then drains back into the oil pan where it contaminates the rest of your oil. So what we're doing is we're sending it to this catch can where it's condensing and draining down to the bottom of the can, that we can drain into whatever kind of container. I use a little plastic cup, but none of it is going back into the oil, and we're still venting all that air from the crankcase pressure or whatever back into the system to be run through another combustion cycle. So we're not contaminating our oil that way, and we're still not just venting it straight to atmosphere, which you see on like a lot of old cars that just had a breather filter on the valve cover or whatever, and it was always oily under the hood. That's what was going on there. So once you get that pulled back, on the bottom of that box, on that tube, is that same style plastic clip that is back there. It's kind of difficult to get to, but it works the same way. It's got a little metal ring and it pushes off. So for me, I was trying to get to it and I ended up breaking off the bottom because it is plastic, and the little black box here is plastic. So it ended up breaking off, and I just pulled the whole water pump out and took it off that way. On that metal tube, I couldn't find the size. I spent a few minutes trying to get it where it goes back into the block, or the oil pan, or however it goes back in there. There's a size pipe plug that you can get, and if you search hard enough online, I'm sure you could find it. I spent a few minutes, but I didn't see what I wanted. So I took a big vacuum cap and I stuck on the end of that tube. It's been on there for over a year. I've got 12,000 or so miles on the build since I did the heads cam setup, and it's been on there since I did that. That's when I put it on. All right, so you've got that capped off, put your water pump back on, reconnect your hose, get everything put back in. So pretty easy on these cars to refill the cooling system. It's a self-burping system. You can squeeze the upper hose and get get air to move up into your reservoir here. Crank the car with it running, have the cap off. Make sure you're doing this cold. You don't want anything to blow back in your face. But you can refill the cooling system. You can go drive around, come back, let it cool off, open the cap, refill again. You're going to have to do it a few times probably to get it all the way full, but it will come back pretty easy. So after you got that done, get your catch can mounted. The catch can kit comes with this adapter for the oil fill and this hose that's going to the catch can. It goes out of the catch can with another little fitting that screws on, and it will go to a quick connect fitting if you have the stock manifold or the LT2. You're going to need a little quick connect fitting to plug into there. I believe it is a medium. This is a 6AN line. So I believe it's a medium. I believe that one comes with the kit. So to do what I've got done, you're going to need a piece of 8AN hose. So I got 4 foot. I bought all this stuff from Mighty Mouse because I wanted all the hose to match. So the big line that feeds into the catch can is 8AN. The one coming out is 6AN. So you're going to need one of these OEM quick connect style fittings, which they sell on the Mighty Mouse website. This is a large, I believe is a 15.5 millimeter, I believe is what it is. We routed it over here. We routed it to a T. So I cut this line here coming out of this oil fill adapter. I cut the line, put a T in. I T'd in our line from the passenger side over to this, and it just routes right on in to the can normally from there. And after that, you're going to need a vacuum cap here. You're going to need that vacuum cap on the valley port. And that is basically it. Everything vents to the can and then back out of the can. They sell the quick connect fittings on the Mighty Mouse website. Like I said, it's very easy. When you go on there, you start choosing the size of hose that you need and everything, and it's going to give you the option that's going to fit that size hose. So really makes it easy to order from them. If you get it in, they use a really high quality hose, and everything matches with the rest of your kit. That is, and that's basically it. After that, everything else, you've deleted that whole system. No problems from there. If y'all got any more questions like that, just let me know. I'll be happy to go over what I can with you. If I missed something and you need to know some more detail, just hit me up, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you like it. We'll see y'all later. Hey y'all, one last thing. Let me give you the parts list of everything I bought outside of the Mighty Mouse catch can kit itself. So I bought 1 gallon of 50/50 premixed coolant. I bought 2 of the Chevy Performance Racing water pump gaskets. I got 1 variety pack of vacuum caps. It probably had 15 or 20, maybe even 25 in there. I don't remember, but they're all different sizes. Every size I needed was in that pack. From Mighty Mouse, I bought 4 feet of 8AN line, which also be 1/2 inch. So we got 1 1/2 inch T. So the 8AN line is going from the passenger side to the driver's side T. Coming out of the driver's side valve cover, we bought 1 45-degree OEM quick connect snap post style connector, which is a large, that's 15.5 millimeter. It'll be under the 8AN line section. If you need a 6AN one, it is a medium, it is a 9.9 millimeter, but I believe that one that goes into your intake manifold came with the Mighty Mouse kit. That is everything I bought in the parts list. Hope y'all have a good day. Later.